Welcome back to Press Here. Exactly a week ago, I was watching the Golden Globes right here on NBC, and a show called Transparent won the Best TV Comedy, which is strange because I have never in my life heard of this TV show. It turns out it's an Amazon TV show, and that is a sign of the fracturing of the television audience. I'm not the hippest of people, but you would think I would have at least heard of the country's best TV show. So I thought we would bring in Tobi Bauckhage, who writes about digital for Variety magazine and runs a website called Moviepilot, which is sort of like, I'm told, Bleacher Report for Hollywood. A fair comparison?
That's a fair comparison.
All right, let's talk about, first of all, Transparent and this idea that we have gotten to the point where I'm trying to convince my friends to watch Sherlock and they've never heard of it, and it's on the BBC America. They've never heard of the channel? How did we get to that point? I mean, this is what the new reality is, right?
Yeah, I think economically, the interesting thing is that there's new packages out there where actually a high-end kind of TV show fits in perfectly to sell something else, or to sell a subscription, or to sell even, you know, free home delivery in the case of Amazon. So I think that's a great new economic kind of
certainly setup. House of Cards drove, I mean, a ton of Netflix new subscriptions.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So it's interesting that this kind of high-end product not necessarily has to work itself and sell, you know, itself, or has a high rate on television, but it's actually selling a bigger bundle.
So where do you think we'll be with this kind of situation in sort of 5 years' time? Will we not be watching regular TV at all?
Well, first of all,
wait, stop. No.
This show.
Apart from that won't happen. But perhaps they'll watch a little less. Is what she was trying to say.
Yeah, you know, as a consumer, this is brilliant times, right? There's so many options. The TV landscape has just widely opened to create those spaces where suddenly shows, you know, are produced and flourish that have never been.
Well, and it is a golden age of television in that you can have enough of these little narrow things that you can have a television show with very smart people talking about Silicon Valley, and you can have a detective show, and you can have all these the Golf Channel, for goodness sakes. I don't golf, but apparently it's very popular. You can have those narrow castings as well.
One of the things I wonder about is you can clearly see the impact of movies on this new golden age of television, right? It's ever more cinematic, big name directors, formerly big screen movie stars. Do you foresee an impact of television influencing movies going the other way and getting more 90-minute films and less sort of 3-hour epics that I can just go see episodically?
Again, as a fan and as a consumer, hopefully, because I think the best piece of writing is done on television shows right now, and it's the same talent. There was some news about Woody Allen doing a TV show now for Amazon.
Yes.
So there's a lot of talent going to television, and it almost like it frees the creative spirits to do something more exciting again.
It's almost like the divide between the two genres has become artificial. Right? Whether it's labeled as a feature or whether it's labeled as a television show is almost immaterial now.
Yes,
especially because people are watching the TV shows all in a row anyway, right?
That's right. Tobi, your blog, or your website rather, Moviepilot, this is not just one fan blog. This is the second most read Hollywood. Help me with the qualifications here.
So yeah, so Moviepilot is a fan-centric publishing platform, and over the last 12 months it has become the biggest entertainment website for millennials. So it is very influential. It's a platform/publisher model. It's a hybrid model where we enable fans to write about movies and about TV shows and games.
Thus, the Bleacher Report. For people who are not familiar with Bleacher Report, it's a sports website that recently got bought for a lot of money. In which the fans do most of the writing and the work. Now, are you paying those fans for the writing?
So it depends. So first of all, that's the platform thing. The publishing piece that we do is that we curate different fan channels, provide context, and kind of make sure that the pieces written by fans are seen by other fans and gets to millions.
You're not getting to the are you paying
Absolutely.
So the writers?
No, to answer your question, there's three different ways how we give back to the contributors. The one is distribution. So first of all, if you're a fan, you want to express yourself, you're suddenly read by millions of other fans and become part of the conversation. That's the first thing. The second thing is then that if you contribute regularly, we will give you access to actually the fans, the stars and the content that you like. So this week we're sending 150 contributors to see the movie Kingsman. way before it comes to the cinema, together with Mark Hamill and with Luke Skywalker.
Okay,
there's this 17-year-old kid hopefully interviewing George Lucas this week. So it's access that we give to fans to actually talk to the people and the content that they really care about. And the third level is we do pay contributors once they come to like a certain kind of professional routine of writing constantly for us, reaching an audience, building the audience.
How many contributors do you pay then?
So we are at about 2,000, 3,000 articles per week right now. You know, mostly written by contributors, but maybe a third or like 20% is written by our editorial staff.
I think she's asking of the 2,000
Yes, out of the
articles.
2,000 contributors, we're paying about like 15 to 20 right now. But we give access to a bigger group. How we see it is we're not judging you on how you write. So everybody can write and contribute. It's very simple to write about something. And not all of those writers want to become writers professionally. And then there's this pyramid. So there's a lot of people who actually just want to express themselves, not necessarily make money of that. But as soon as we see those more talented writers and to reach more things, we go over. The one comparison we always make is one of my favorite movies, Almost Famous. Okay. So, Cameron Crowe was 16 years old when he toured with the Allman Brothers for 2 weeks to write his first cover story for the Rolling Stone magazine. Now, that's a big, big...
Right.
Big
but the
comparison.
idea...
But he was a fan first, and then he was a writer second. So we're trying to find and to develop those kind of contributors to become writers. And a lot of them are 17 years old, 16 years old, living at home.
They're
thrilled to have that opportunity, and we develop them to build an audience and to get their message out.
And speaking of those fans, one of the things I think is interesting is that before you launched Moviepilot stateside in 2012, you had the #1 movie website in Germany.
Yes, that's my funny accent, absolutely. I'm German, so we moved over here.
So what do you find to be really unique about American audiences? What makes an American fan an American fan?
So I think the reason why we had to move over here is that still like Western pop culture is mainly created here. So you have early audiences who discover those shows that we hear later about, right? The talent, everything is here. So I think it's in the economic idea of a diffusion model where the audience are built and demand is created. This is the market where a lot of demand is created first. So also from a data standpoint, it's very interesting to see how how new pop culture phenomena come up and how they're kind of amplified by the U.S. audience and then travel abroad.
Tobi's, no, Jenny, I have to interrupt because I did promise an Oscar prediction.
Yes.
We have about a minute left. American Sniper, Birdman, Boyhood, Grand Budapest Hotel, The Imitation Game, Selma, Theory of Everything. Sir.
So from a personal
Best Picture.
Let me say one surprise first. One surprise is there's Lego Movies not nominated for animation.
I agree.
Which is really?
Yes, I loved it.
Second is Guardians of the Galaxy, which was a big highlight for me, it's not in there. So there's a lot of pop culture missing in that list that you just said. Out of that list, I think personally, Boyhood was amazing, and I think
Jenny,
it's great.
you got 15 seconds.
Oh, well, what
Pick
did the
one.
social data
you've got to
pattern
pick
say?
a movie.
Oh, I have to pick a movie. Oh, to win? I'm going to say Boyhood.
Oh, that's unfair, because I was going to say Boyhood too.
I'm going to go with Boyhood because I just think it makes sense. Thank you for my inexperts and my expert press here. We'll be back in just a minute. Thank you.